Welcome to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Now here's your host, Tim McMahon.
A lot of Star Wars podcasts will review the new episodes of Star Wars Rebels each week as they are released. Heck, many even create whole separate shows just to talk about Rebels. Well, that hasn't been my style. I don't feel like I'm the world's greatest reviewer, but I did review the first episode of the season, and since Rebels has hit the halfway point of Season 3, and we just had the last new episode of 2016, I figured it was time to check in on the show. So here you go, here's my gut reaction. Alright, spoiler alert. Stop listening now unless you're all caught up on the show. So this isn't necessarily a review of the mid-season finale, but of the first half of the season as a whole. Before recording this, I went back and listened to episode 16 of Less Than 12 Parsecs, the episode where I reviewed the season opener. I was very excited for all the things we were going to get this year. Thrawn, the Bendu, the evolving relationship between Ezra and Maul, and while I have really enjoyed these elements so far this season, I feel like we've barely seen these things this year. Out of 11 episodes, Thrawn has barely been in half, and Maul and Bendu, well, they've only been in 3 each, just bookending the half season. Okay, I know it's quality, not quantity that counts, so let's go back and take a look at these 3 things a bit closer. At the start of the season, I said this was going to be the Rebels Empire Strikes Back year, meaning the screws were going to be put to our heroes, things were going to get tough, and it would end on a down note. And I felt like Thrawn was the perfect villain to do this to them. But what has Thrawn done so far? Not much. Yes, he's quote-unquote studied them, and that's in his character, but I would have expected him to play cat and mouse with them a little bit by now. And have we seen that? I guess you could argue that we have to some degree, but not really to the length and seriousness that I was expecting. I don't know, maybe because it's a kid's show, things are toned down a bit, but shrug. As for the Bendu, I was hoping he would become Kanan's Yoda this season, but nope, we haven't seen that at all. Honestly, I'm not sure where the show is going to go with this character. He pops up to answer Kanan's question in the last episode, but again, it's not quite what I was expecting. And yes, I know the show isn't created to meet my expectations, but come on, toss this fanboy a bone, will ya? And finally, there's Maul. When Maul first came back to Rebels, I was really excited because I felt like after Clone Wars, his story needed to be finished up just as much as Ahsoka's. His last episode in the Clone Wars had him getting his butt kicked by Palpatine. I wanted to see what happened next in the relationship between these two characters. While I like what we have seen of this new, older, non-Sith Maul, I don't think I'm going to get the story I wanted. And again, I know the show wasn't created to meet my expectations. Ugh. I think, and this is just my speculation here, in the second half of Season 3, we're going to see Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi battle again, and sadly, this will probably bring Maul's story to an end. Will we see Maul and Palpatine interact before then? Well, just because I want it so much, I'm going to say probably not. Back in the day, I was a big X-Files fan. That show was a masterful mix of Monster of the Week episodes and mythology episodes that advanced the larger storyline. To put these 11 episodes of Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels into X-Files terms, I would say the mix has been too heavy on Monster of the Week episodes and doesn't have enough mythology episodes. All that said, I still enjoy each week of Star Wars Rebels, with the Antilles extraction and the last battle being 2 high points for me personally so far this season. Rebels lost Dave Filoni as supervising director this year, but I feel like the baton was passed to Justin Ridge flawlessly. I look forward to the second half of Season 3, especially to see how it all ties into Rogue One. So there you go, those are my thoughts on what we've seen so far from Star Wars Rebels this year. What are your thoughts and opinions? I want to know! Email me at 12parsekspodcast@gmail.com or visit 12parsekspodcast.com to find all my social media links. Thanks for listening, Utini!
My thoughts exactly.
You've been listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, part of the expanded Fandomverse network of shows. For links and show notes, visit our website, 12parsekpodcast.com. Follow Less Than 12 Parsecs on Twitter at 12parpod, on Instagram at 12parsekspodcast, on Tumblr at 12parsekspodcast, and find us on Facebook as well. And please let us know what you think. Email us at 12parsekspodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher to enter the amazing merchandise end of the year giveaway contest we're holding. I really should have come up with a better name for this thing.